नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्याधिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. Nithyanandam, and welcome to all the participants of Paramashiva Sena program, batch 9, and all the participants of Paramashiva Sena program, batch 10, both of whom are here today joining with us for this very special segment. We're all now preparing for the Sundareshwara Pattabhishekam, a very special celebrations. Actually, I think this batch of Paramashiva Sena participants, you're all lucky. On the day that you all come, celebrations have already started, and you're all entering into your first day. The very first session of your first day is with Swamiji, and we're all going to be receiving the darshan now. And I request all participants to please take your seats. And also, Ma Pushkala, could you please confirm if all have settled, Ma? If all the participants are in? And meanwhile, all the viewers that are joining us on YouTube, on various social media platforms, we welcome every one of you for this very special segment. Very, very shortly, we are going to be entering into the special darshan for the Sundareshwara Pattabhishekam. Okay, so first, I'm so excited to see all the participants of PSS batch 9 and 10 both. It's two batches. We have Ma Pratyaksha Jnana Shaktini, Ma Saundarya, Ma Mangala Rupini, and all the participants that have come today. Ma Kansata Galota, Nithyanandam, nice to see you. Welcome. Nice to have you. Wonderful to have you. And Ma Maheshwara, welcome back. Nice to have you here. And Kailaya Nithyanandam, and we have a huge teamily that literally manifested all the way from China to here. And actually, the team, Taiwan team and China team that are here, even just the way you all made it here was so inspiring for me. So I'm already waiting to hear from each of you how all of you manifested it here. I know all the things that got your way, but literally from the other side of the world, you all manifested it here. And that's wonderful to have all of you. Welcome to all the participants that are here. And today, as we're all entering into the program, into the Paramashiva Sena 10th batch. I can't believe it's already been 10 batches, 10 months of the program, and so many lives transformed, so many experiences. Each season has been so unique. Each season's experiences have been so unique. So I'm excited to join all of you for this program. And today, as we all enter into the Paramashiva Sena program, today's day is very auspicious because in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, out of 365 days a year, 300 days are festivals and 65 days are preparations for those festivals. We have some or the other festivals that keep coming. But one of the most, there are few significant festivals that is very close and very, very important to Kailasa. And one such festival is the Avani Tiruvizha. Actually, Avani Tiruvizha is celebrated in the month of Avani, in the Hindu month of Avani. And it is very auspicious, especially because this month, the happening Avani Tiruvizha is celebrated in the Tamil month, the Hindu Tamil month of Avani, which typically falls between mid of August and September. And for the Avani Tiruvizha, it is the commemoration of Paramashiva's miracles with the procession of the deities retelling all the sacred stories, all the sacred happenings of Paramashiva. So, Paramashiva, who is the supreme Godhead, who is the ultimate divinity in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, he comes down in his embodied form time and again, as needed by the humanity, and he revives the whole enlightened civilization. And in one such happening many thousands of years ago, he happened as in his ultimate, most graceful form as Sundareshwara Paramashiva, and he played various different leelas, various different um, special leelas, where he gave enlightenment to various different devotees, people performing so many miracles, which all of us very fondly recollect as the Thiruvilayadal. It is written as a very beautiful scripture by Sekirar, the Thiruvilayadal Puranam. And this Thiruvilayadal, the 64 divine plays of Paramashiva, is retold in this 10 days of celebrations, which culminates today, and it commenced around 10 days back, and it culminates today with a grand and pompous celebration of Paramashiva's Pattabhishekam. So, all the participants that are here for PSS, I want to welcome all of you here. You all might be from various different backgrounds. I know many of you here have been connected for a very long time, and there are many of you here who are joining us for the very first time. So, wherever you're joining us from, however you're joining us, today, this celebration and this season, the decision that you have decided to come at the right place, in the right time, with the right person, for the right purpose. And every one of you, all the participants, actually, Ma Premika, Ma Pushkala, can we call all the PSS 9 also, Ma? Because today the PSS Batch 9 is going to be graduating. All of you are going to be having a very special initiation. Officially, you're all going to be initiated into the Rajya Sabha. So, Ma Francisca, could you call Ma Purnima Balaji, everybody? Very, very shortly, the darshan is going to be beginning. And today, all the Paramashiva Sena batch 10 participants, you're all going to be entering into your very first program with Swamiji's blessings, having the very first session as a darshan. And the significance of this, see, time and again, whenever humanity has been in need, the cosmos, the ultimate consciousness, call it whatever name you want, the ultimate has descended time and again to give enlightenment to to humanity, to restore that ultimate consciousness, and to give a superconscious breakthrough, a superconscious possibility for the whole of humanity. And today, as all of us are celebrating the Avani Tiruvizha, celebrating the happening of Sundareshwara Paramashiva, today we all need to remember the very purpose of why, Swamiji beautifully tells, the very purpose of why a human being happens is for him seeking the ultimate. And Swamiji was coronated as the living incarnation of Paramashiva, identified, recognized, and coronated as the living incarnation of Paramashiva. And today, all Kailasas across the globe are going to be celebrating the Pattabhishekam of Swamiji. So I'm just going to start with playing a very small video which shows the coronation of the SPH as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam, the Pontiff of Madurai Adinam. And right after that, we are going to be entering into the next segment, preparing ourselves for the darshan.
Lord of Kailash, Shiva himself, she recognized him as her eternal consort and dropped her arms to become Shiva's companion for life.
Along with Shiva, also known as Sundareshwara or the Beautiful Lord, Meenakshi reigned over her kingdom for a glorious 166 years.
In course of time, with the rise of Jainism as a religious force, Madurai too fell to its powerful influence and Shaivism all but vanished from the sacred kingdom where Shiva himself had once walked the earth. The renaissance of Shaivism in Madurai was the sacred task of a child incarnation, Tirunjana Sambandar, one of the four visionary saints of Shaiva Siddhanta tradition. The story goes that as a baby, Tirunjana Sambandar was once nourished by the milk of enlightenment from the cosmic mother herself. This child prodigy arrived in Madurai to effortlessly defeat the learned Jain monks with his wisdom, healing powers, and spiritual prowess, and restored Madurai to her beloved religion, Shaivism, by reviving the ancient Madurai Adinam and the Meenakshi temple, which had fallen to desolate ruin. Madurai Adinam is today the world's oldest living Hindu organization, with a recorded history alone spanning a glorious 1,500 years and an unbroken lineage of illustrious pontiffs to this very day. Over the centuries, Madurai Adinam has been patronized by the likes of Tipu Sultan, Robert Nobili, and the poet saint Vallalar. The pontiff of the Madurai Adinam is known by the title Guru Mahasannidhanam and inherits the responsibility of carrying forward the traditions of Tirunjana Sambandar's sacred work.
On 27th April 2012, a new era began in the history of Madurai Adinam. The 292nd Pontiff, Srila Sri Arunagirinatha Jnana Sambandha Desika Paramacharya Swamigal, guided by intuition and inducement by Lord Shiva, coronated a charismatic young saint as the 293rd Pontiff of the Madurai Adinam.
An accomplished yogi, a pragmatic social visionary, and an adept in mystical sciences. His Holiness Paramahamsa Nithyananda is revered as a divine incarnation by millions worldwide. The sacred throne, he brought about sweeping changes to the Adinam, including the renovation of the ancient monastery, Annadan, free food for thousands every day, free medical camps, yoga classes, scriptural study, spiritual healing, and meditation programs. The traditional Adinam now has a website, and thousands participate in the morning worship and spiritual talks via live streaming and two-way video conferencing. Are being reclaimed from illegal encroachment. Its numerous temples are being restored to sanctity, and the neighboring villages are being adopted with basic amenities, education and medical care being provided for all. His Holiness dreams of an authentic Vedic Renaissance for which India has already waited too long.
Here, I take the commitment of making Madurai Adinam as an international religious organization.
The whole Madurai Adinam represents the ancient tradition, the 5,000 years of Hindu history. Actually, just as we're all coming in today, we have one of the most important, one of the most significant happening in the human history. Because Madurai Adinam, Madurai itself is a very special place. Madurai is one of the ancient settlement of humanity. That is why it is called as Pandayanadu. Means in Tamil it is called as Pandayanadu. Means old, oldest civilization. Sanatana Hindu Dharma has long held the history or some of the most sacred sciences of humanity in its very genetics. When we had the first ever complete, almost the whole human civilization was wiped out, science calls this as the meltwater pulse 1b. So during the meltwater pulse 1b, when there was a big crash from present day Kashmir region. Anciently, it was called the Varahamula Pass. Today, we call it as Baramulla. The Varahamula Pass had one of the largest glaciers humanity's ever known, and I'm talking about many thousands of years ago. And at that point in time, when the Baramulla Pass, the Varahamula Pass, had crossed a certain limit, there's said to be have a massive earthquake that displaced all of the water from the glacier, which wiped out almost half the human settlement. And that is a time where Manu, one of the greatest monarchs of humankind, he had happened as directly guided by the divinity. He took the whole of humanity to a settlement, to a land that was known to, that was not yet reached by the common man yet. And that is how the first settlement, the first, one of the ancient settlements started in the New World, which is what we call as the Kiradi settlement today, the Kiradi civilization, which is the Madurai civilization, the Pandya kingdom. That's why it's called Pandya Nadu, the ancient kingdom. And it is in this kingdom that the happening of Devi Meenakshi and Sundareshwara Paramashiva happened. This is elaborated in the Skanda Mahapurana, in the Agastya Samhita, and in Halasya Mahatmyam as well, where each of the glories of Devi Meenakshi and Sundareshwara are celebrated. Where Meenakshi, she happened as the daughter of the king and the queen of the Madurai civilization, and she restored the glory of the whole enlightened civilization to the whole of humanity. And this entire happening is recorded in the Skanda Mahapurana. It is very beautifully elaborated. And this happening is what is celebrated in the 10 days. We have two major festivals like this. We have Meenakshi Pattabhishekam and then we have Sundareshwara Pattabhishekam. So Meenakshi is a celebration of Devi and Sundareshwara Paramashiva is celebrated in the form of Paramashiva celebrated in the form of Sundareshwara Paramashiva in this 10 days Avani Tiruvizha, in the Avani celebrations, Avani Tiruvizha celebrations. And today, on the 10th day, all of us are going to be witnessing the coronation, the Pattabhishekam of Swamiji, who is a very living incarnation of Meenakshi and Sundareshwara themselves. And to all the participants, PSS Batch 9, we're going to be having a very special celebrations. We're going to be having a very special initiation for all of you today. You're all going to be initiated into being a part of the Rajya Sabha, officially becoming the Rajya Sabha members. And all of you are going to be also initiated into becoming a representative of Paramashiva. All the participants that are here, whether you're here for the very first time, or whether you have been, you have come for multiple programs, or this is your second or third PSS, whichever time that you're here, this program makes you manifest Paramashiva through you. And I think we have various participants. Actually, it's so nice to see all of you here, all the PSS batch 10 participants. We have Rohit Sharma Aya, Nithyanandam, Rohit Aya, nice to have you here, Rohit Sharma Aya. And we have so many more people. Actually, this Taiwanese group, I'm so excited to welcome all of you. Ma Yi Swan Liang, Ma Yun Zen Lu, and Ma Carmen. Nithyanandam, Ma Carmen. I think for you to be here, so many people manifested you here. They were continuously saying, I somehow need to get Ma Carmen. I somehow need to just, manifest her. So I'm going to, I heard your name so many times. So I'm glad that you're here, Ma Carmen. Okay, and we also have, yes, Ma Concetta Galota is here, and Ma Hui Tsi Yang, and Siu Mei Yang, Nithyanandam, for both of you. Ma Anyan Zhao, Ma Yoga Priya, correct? Your name? Manyan Zhao. Ma Yoga Priya, welcome. Nice to have you here. Welcome to the program, Ma Yoga Priya. And then we have Ma Pragnana Dakshina Murti Prasadini, Ma Wen Ching Lin. Actually, Ma Yoga Guru Prasadini, you all should share the story of how you got here. That itself was so inspiring as people were sharing, and I was part of seeing the whole journey of how you all manifested here. And that's so beautiful. I'm so happy that you all finally made it. And Ma Rupal Parekh, Ma Rupal, welcome. Finally, when I see you, I just want to tell, finally you have manifested, made it here. Almost 6 months, Ma. 6 months. I have heard back to back. This season, somehow Ma Rupal is going to manifest. And this season, okay, this. And finally you're here. And I'm so happy for it, Ma. And also, Kailaya is here. Welcome back, Aya. And we also have Ma Sadashiva Mai. Ma Sadashiva Mai. Nityanandam. Wave your hands. I can't see you in the camera clearly. Ma Sadashiva Mai, I'm so happy that you're here. I've seen you in almost all the Paramashivoham programs happening online. And I feel like I almost already know you so well. So, welcome back. And welcome to the program. Wonderful to have you here. And we also have Mom Esther. Ma Esther. Nityanandam Ma Esther. And Ma Chandravidya. Nityanandam. Nice to see you after a long time. And welcome, Ma. Nice to have you here. And welcome to Kailasa. Welcome to Kailasa. Welcome to becoming a Kailasa Vasi. That's good. Nice to have you here. Welcome back. And we also have Andrew Nithyanandam. Andrew Nithyanandam. Yes. Okay, so welcome, and I welcome every one of you here. And my name is Ma Nithyanandita, and I'm going to be here as part of all of your journey. And I feel blessed, more than excited to be here as all of your Acharya in this program, to be part of your journey of Paramashiva Sena over the next course of the next 1 month. There's going to be so many things happening. You can just turn back and ask all the participants of PSS Batch 9. They'll have so much to share with you, because right from day one, it's going to be a unique experience, and I'm excited. I feel blessed to be part of all of your journey. It's such a joy to be an Acharya, because I get to witness all the transformations, the miracles, the kind of shifts and breakthroughs that happen. So here again, yet with one more batch, I'm more than excited to be a part. And along with me, I also have Ma Nithyanandini. Yes. I have joining with me also Ma Nithyanandini, who's also going to be part of all of your journey as an Acharya. We have various others who are going to be there joining all of you in this journey as well. And Ma Nithyanandini is here. She is going to be as one of your Acharyas, guiding all of you through this program. And she is also a Balasant, brought up by Swamiji from a very young age. And so it's wonderful to have all of you here. And the next 30 days, you can expect there's going to be just so many things happening. See, mostly in our life, we all expect, we all think our limited identities. Even if you know that there's a higher possibility, but that's one area where we are very afraid to venture out, or I would say we don't have time, we don't take the time to venture out, because constantly you're kept very busy within the matrix of your life, what you have to live. And today, this program, the goal of this program is not any self-help, self-development program. If you're thinking, oh, this is going to be another self-help program, self-development program, no, this is not a personality development course. And this program is directly working on your very consciousness. This program is to give you a super conscious breakthrough. And every one of you that are here, all the participants that are here, just mark this day, because by the end of this 1 month, you're going to be literally having a super conscious breakthrough, a transformation where you will start manifesting Paramashiva through you. You will just, your identity, the individual identity, dissolves into the cosmic identity, becoming one with Paramashiva himself. So I know there's like so much to tell about, there's so much we are going to be learning through the day today. But one of the main things that I want to share with every one of you here is this program is not just designed for all of your, it's not like a typical program that you would expect. This is going to be unique blend because we are going to be intensely working in your inner space and working for you to have a breakthrough inside you and leveraging all the latest tools, AI, everything, learning all the best of the other end as well. So we're going to be doing both, and you're going to be having this is going to be a very intense program, power packed, and every day you'll be having unique initiations, darshans, all of it. So get ready for this experience. And I think also if any of you talk to even the PSS Batch 9 participants, yes, sorry for the technical glitch. And I think if all of you also talk to any of the previous batch 9 participants, you'll see the kind of breakthroughs which everyone has had. Even people who have like previously attended IAs or previously attended the programs we cannot compare this program to those because the kind of breakthroughs, it's like a jam pack full package of all of the programs which we have experienced before, everything all put together, and Swamiji is giving like a next level breakthrough through this program, whether it is through the powerful mandala processes or the powerful initiations or the powerful darshans, the sessions, everything which is happening throughout the program. All of you will see how you experience a breakthrough in the next level and how, see, one, I think one of the very important things here, which I have to mention is seeing especially the last few batches of all the participants, we have continuously seen how their experience, the breakthroughs which they have, is not just for the 30 days. It's not just within the 30 days which they're coming, experiencing, and going. Even when they go back, the experiences which they have, what all they learn, the impact which this program has on them is there even when they go back home. So, all of this, the truths and everything which we are learning, all the breakthroughs which you are having through this program, you will be able to experience it even once you go back and apply all of that in your personal life also. So that is why this is something extraordinary, and we are so glad and happy to have all the participants here and start this 30 days journey with all of you and see how all of you, each and every one of you, experience the breakthroughs. Today also, as it being the day one and also the graduation day for the previous batch 9 participants, we have a lot of exciting activities and a lot of exciting things which we're going to be having throughout the day. And of course, starting with a very special satsang from Swamiji. So the first and foremost thing that all of us are going to be preparing for, like Ma Nithyanandini said, we're going to be having the breakthrough in your consciousness. The very first aid, see, please understand, all of you here, all the participants here, an avatar is a person who descends, is that ultimate consciousness who descends. It's a conscious descent, similar to how every time, whenever there is a collective depression, the highest of consciousness is attracted to liberate that collective depression, to fulfill. See, any depression as a law has to attract its highest fulfillment. Same way, when the collective consciousness of the humanity goes into a depression, the highest of consciousness manifests, which we call as avatar. And we have various, time and again, we have seen various incarnations. We have seen like Krishna, Rama. And today, for this day and age, the ultimate incarnation that has manifested. Paramashiva himself has manifested as Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. And for every one of us that are here, this day is auspicious. So first let us understand the significance of who Devi Meenakshi is and who Sundareshwara Paramashiva is. So we can understand the significance of today, this festival that we are having right now. Because it is important for us to know the history. This is not a story, this is not a mythology, definitely. This is the history, because you all should know the happening of Devi Meenakshi is not just recorded in the Hindu history. We find the references of it through the diplomatic relations that she had established in the history of various other civilizations as well. So we're going to be understanding about that a little bit more deeper now. Yes. So actually, how many of you, I just you have ever heard, can you all raise your hands if you have heard of Devi Meenakshi? Okay, I can see a few of you. See, there's a very beautiful story, actually, even with the birth of Devi Meenakshi itself is something which is not normal. Yes, I'm sorry. Are all of you able to hear me clearly? Can I see a thumbs up? Okay, yes. Yes. So the story, starting with the birth of Devi Meenakshi itself, is something very unique and divine. So it goes back to in the kingdom of Madurai, the present day king, Malayadhwaja Pandya, and his wife, Queen Kanchanamala. They were childless for a long time. They didn't have any children, and they were really praying to Paramashiva. They were praying to have a child. So they conducted a yajna. They conducted a homa. It is a fire ritual which they conducted to be blessed with a child. So during this time, they prayed and they were conducting the whole yajna. When towards the end, they saw a small child, like literally a 3-year-old girl, just walked out of the fire, out of the Homakunda. A 3-year-old girl walked out, and that is Devi Meenakshi, who they were blessed with. She walked out of the fire, and she was born from the fire. And one very unique thing about Devi Meenakshi was that she was born with 3 breasts. One of the things they noticed. So they were, immediately Malayadhwaja Pandya was concerned about this. Then they heard like an Akashavani. It was like I can say maybe an ethereal voice which they heard, which said that when she finds her equal, or when she when she sees, when Devi Meenakshi comes to someone who she is able to sees her equal, that time the 3rd breast will automatically disappear. So then, this was the only child for Malayadhwaja Pandya. This was the only child they had. So he started training her as to like a queen to rule the entire kingdom. So he started training her in all the different 64 arts, in all like a queen to rule the kingdom, horse riding, how to administer everything. Devi Meenakshi was trained and taught as a small child. She was brought up learning all of these various different 64 arts, how to run a kingdom, to be able to rule the kingdom once. So actually, the very birth of Devi Meenakshi, actually, I wanted to say one thing. The exact place where Devi Meenakshi walked out of the fire, where she walked out of the fire and was born, that is the exact place where our Adinam in Madurai, we have our Shyamala Peta Sarvanya Peetham, we have the Adinam there. The exact place where the Adinam stands right now is the exact place, the exact land where Devi Meenakshi was born. So we were fortunate enough to be able to get that land, and that is the exact place where Devi Meenakshi walked out of the fire and was born. And right now also, like, actually Devi Meenakshi was a great queen, being able in all aspects, being able to administer, being able to conquer. Actually, she went on went conquering all the different nations. She was one of the best rulers, best queens. And Devi Meenakshi's story, I think, goes a long way. And there is so much to learn, especially today. it being today we going to be seeing the whole Pattabhishekam which is happening in Madurai. We are going to also be receiving a special satsang from Swamiji, and also learning more about the whole story, the history and the leelas of Devi Meenakshi. And each of these kingdoms of Devi Meenakshi, see, we have various kingdoms like this in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, all of which carried a particular science. The sciences, various different sciences of enlightenment. One of the, like for example, in the Madurai civilization, the Madurai settlement, they were like really amazing traders. And also that civilization was focused on the enlightenment of people. And this one civilization, the Meenakshi, the civilization that Devi Meenakshi established, formed into a beautiful kingdom called the Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Petam. Actually, just so that all of you know, Devi Meenakshi was a contemporary of Bhagavan Krishna. Actually, Meenakshi's father was a contemporary of Bhagavan Krishna. He was living in the same time as Mahabharata war. In fact, in the Drona Parva of Mahabharata, we find a reference of Meenakshi's father, Malayadwaja Pandian, fighting the war against Dronacharya, and he gets killed in the process. So, Devi Meenakshi's father gets killed in the Mahabharata war, and when he comes back, he is coronated. Sorry, his daughter is coronated when the after the war finishes, and he attains the samadhi there. He's killed there in the battle, and after that, when his remains everything come back, then they need the next heir to the throne, and that is when Devi Meenakshi, she was brought up like completely trained in all the 64 arts and all the art forms, etc. And she was directly coronated as the next ruler of the Madurai civilization. And that is when she meets Sundareshwara Paramashiva, like what Ma Nityanandini was sharing about. And they establish Kailasonata Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Petam. Don't get overwhelmed with the Sanskrit words, but this is a kingdom that Devi Meenakshi herself established. There are various such kingdoms that you can find references to in Hinduism. And this is one of the kingdoms that directly Devi Meenakshi herself established, which today Swamiji is the 293rd ruler. He is the 293rd emperor of this particular kingdom, of the Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Petam. And this history dates back to thousands of years. I'm just going to show you all the lineage chart so you all can understand the long history that it carries. So here we can see this is the current day, the lineage chart of the whole Madurai civilization. And this was directly started by Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva in the year around 11,000 BCE. After Sundareshwara Paramashiva, it has a continuous, unbroken lineage of 293 pontiffs so far. It's one of the oldest civilization and oldest lineage. It has an unbroken record and continuous lineage of enlightened masters and incarnations who have happened for the revival. And this is Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva, directly started from Bhagavan Paramashiva himself. He is the ultimate supreme godhead. This started around the year 11,000 BCE, then continued with Kapila Muni. Kapila Muni is incarnation of Paramashiva. He is the reviver of the Mahanirvani Pita. And then it continues with Devi Meenakshi, like we had shared earlier. Devi Meenakshi is an incarnation of Parashakti, the divine cosmic mother. And from Devi Meenakshi, it goes to the 107th. See, Devi Meenakshi happens around 3000 BCE, right? And after her, after Devi Meenakshi, then this goes back to Sri Jnanasambandar. So it goes, he descends, and he is the 214th Guru Mahasannidhanam. Actually, a very interesting fact is even Adi Shankaracharya, for all the viewers that are watching us on YouTube, Adi Shankaracharya was the 117th Guru Mahasannidhanam of Madurai Adinam. He is very much part of the Madurai Adinam, and he is a reviver, and that's why he is called as Shanmata Sthapanacharya. He is the reviver of 6 ancient traditions. He also revived the Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Peetam. He was the 117th Guru Mahasannidhanam. He was directly an incarnation of Paramashiva. And that's why he is called as Shanmatha Sthapanacharya. All the Shanmathas, all the 6 civilizations, he had re-established back. And we also have the Shrikanta Shivacharya. Shrikanta Shivacharya is a compiler of all the ancient Hindu scriptures. All the Shaiva Samaya Kale Kalanjiyam means all the ancient Shaiva literature was reorganized, recompiled by Shrikanta Shivacharya. He happened around 2000 BCE, and he was the 107th pontiff in the lineage. Then we have Adi Shankaracharya. And then we have the 214th pontiff in that lineage, which is Sri Tirujnana Sambandar. And Jnana Sambandar is directly a descent of Paramashiva and Parashakti, son Subramanya. And he manifests again to re-establish back. He's actually given the status of one of the main Nalvar. He's one of the main reviver and re-establisher of the Enlightenment civilization. And I know for all the PSS participants who are joining here on the first day, for many of you, this might be very new, something that you're learning, or it might be even something like, you're hearing a lot of things for the first time, but please don't get overwhelmed. This is just to guide you all, just to show you all the history, the unbroken lineage, the long history that we Hindus have. And after Tirujnana Sambandar, we have 288th Guru Mahasannidhanam, who is Arumuruga Sri Jnanasambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamigal. And from then, we have actually this whole 293 Guru Mahasannidhanams that have happened. We have clear, unbroken record. We have continuous record of all of these superconscious beings that have descended. From the 288th Guru Mahasannidhanam, then we have 289th, which is Sri Rao Bahadur, Sri Swaminatha Jnanasambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamigal. He is actually, he's a key figure in the history of the Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Peetam, because he was given, it is Sri Rao Bahadur Guru Mahasannidhanam who was given the status of a Rao Bahadur by the British officials. This very interesting aspect of the history, where during the post-colonial period, when the Britishers were about to leave, they had given him the diplomatic immunity. And at that time, in the modern day, it is in the time of Sri Rao Bahadur, there was a guarantee given that all the Guru Mahasannidhanams will be treated or will be given the position of the protection as the king, as the emperor, incumbent emperor of the Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Peetam. So Rao Bahadur had happened in the year 1905 CE, and he is a very key figure, a very prominent figure in the whole modern history of the Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Peetam. Then we have the 290th Guru Mahasannidhanam, who was Sri Swaminatha Sri Jnanasambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamigal, who ruled from 1905 to 1953. Then continued by Sri Somasundara Sri Jnanasambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamigal, who ruled from 1953 and to almost 1980. And the 292nd Guru Mahasannidhanam that we see here, ruled from 1980 to 2012. He is Sri Arunagirinath Sri Jnanasambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamigal, and he ruled from 1980 to 2012. It is in the year 2012 that he got a divine vision from Devi Meenakshi and Sundareshwara Paramashivam, asking him, guiding him to hand over the Samrajya to the incarnation of Sundareshwara Paramashivam. and Devi Meenakshi, who have happened as Swamiji as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam. Actually, this picture that you all can see here is the picture or exactly on the day of coronation of Swamiji. And this is the exact picture of, you can see all the kalanjis and all the different avaranas, everything that showcases, that represents Swamiji, and who's the incarnation of Meenakshi and Sundareshwara, becoming the emperor of the Shyamala Peta Sarvajna Peetam. This exact throne, all the jewelry, everything in this, the Yoga Valladu, all of it is the exact abharanas of the emperor who's ruling the Madurai Samrajya that he is supposed to be wearing. Yes, sir. Also, sorry for that slight technical glitch. See, talking about these kingdoms, here you can see, we just saw the whole lineage of the Madurai, of the Shyamala Pita Sarvajna Peetam. We saw all the different, the whole lineage, how it started from Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva and then Devi Meenakshi and has continued. We have, it's like the Avichinna Guru Parampara. Actually, all of you should understand, all of these kingdoms, we have so many ancient kingdoms in Hinduism. We have so various different kingdoms. This Shyamala Pita Sarvajna Peetam, the kingdom of Madurai, is one of the oldest and the largest kingdom which we have. And you can see the unbroken lineage. In Sanskrit, it is called the Avichinna Guru Parampara, the unbroken lineage of like continuous the whole lineage. And of course, from started by Bhagavan Paramashiva is now in the hands of Devi Bhagavan Paramashiva and Devi Paramashiva Shakti, Meenakshi herself manifesting through Swamiji. See, actually, I wanted to mention one thing here when we talk about the kingdoms. There are so many different, there in Hinduism, we have so many, we have over 548 different kingdoms. We had over 10,000 different civilizations. There is like, if you talk about Hinduism's glory, the kingdoms which we have, the enlightened civilizations which we have, it is endless. And Swamiji is working to continuously revive all of these ancient civilizations, all of these kingdoms. We have, for example, see, we will be also going through in detail and understanding more about this. So this is just for everyone to understand. Don't feel overwhelmed by all of the words, all of the kingdoms. We'll be also going through in detail and understanding more about this. We have the Surangi Samrajyam. We have, of course, the Shyamala Peta Sarvanyapitam, which we are learning about now. We have the Shripuram. We have the Kanchipuram. So, like this, we have so many different kingdoms, which Swamiji is single-handedly reviving. All of these ancient kingdoms, which is like which goes back to thousands and thousands of years, and has the unbroken succession, and Swamiji is now the current the current head, the current successor to all of these various different kingdoms, which have been lost over time. Many of these kingdoms which we have had have started being lost over time with all of the colonization, with all of the attacks and all the invasions which has happened. They have been lost over the years, and Swamiji is now reviving them single-handedly and is working to continuously bring back those, not only those kingdoms, but even the civilizations. One of the very important things when you talk about Madurai, now if anyone knows about the temple town of Madurai in current day India, you will think about the temple, the great Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple which is there. But it is not just the temple or the kingdom. It is the civilization which was established by Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva and Devi Meenakshi. During their time, it is not it, it's not just the kingdom. The whole civilization itself was an enlightened civilization. Everyone was so consciously awakened, spiritually, mentally, so consciously awakened, and even was manifesting various different powers. Actually, today also, all of the Paramashiva Sena participants, all of you will be all of you will be also seeing and witnessing all of these powers which we're going to be manifesting and demonstrating. All of you will be seeing that also. So in these ancient enlightened civilizations, all of the people, all of the citizens of the kingdom, and everyone in the civilization would manifest so many powers and was so consciously awakened and built by Devi Meenakshi and Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva, which Swamiji is reviving now. What all of you are going to be experiencing in the 30 days, the whole ecosystem and this whole Kailasa which Swamiji is reviving, is to bring back that whole enlightened civilization, to bring back and to make everyone consciously awakened, spiritually awakened, and in so many other levels, to bring back that whole enlightened civilization, which we had in the previous days. And this is what Swamiji is working to revive now through Kailasa. And in the next 30 days, through everything which all of you are going to be experiencing through this program. Right now, because you are in the ecosystem, especially for all of the participants sitting in LA, all of you are in the direct temple ecosystem established by Swamiji. All of you should know, all the participants who are sitting in LA, the LA temple, all of the deities over there. Swamiji himself micromanaged every single aspect, whether it is the carving of the deity, moving all of the deities, shipping them, ensuring that they reach, and even the prana pratishtha, even installing the whole deities, everything Swamiji himself micromanaged personally. And all of you are really going to be able to experience that direct temple ecosystem, that be in these next 30 days, the whole ecosystem, whether it is for the yoga puja, the whole spiritual routine, or whether it is throughout the day, through all of the processes, the initiations, the darshans, everything which we'll be receiving, all of this, all of this you're going to be experiencing in this ecosystem, which is going to be continuously supporting you to manifest your best possibility, to manifest a breakthrough. And all of you should know that this ecosystem, the place where you're sitting in right now, is a very powerful place, and it is very powerful, and the whole ecosystem itself is directly energized by Swamiji. So now coming back to talking about the greatness of the civilization which Devi Meenakshi and Bhagavan Sundareshwara established. The kingdom of Madurai was one of the greatest and is still one of the greatest and oldest civilizations. And all of you should know the valuation. In current day, the valuation of this one kingdom alone is a whopping 595 trillion USD. The civilization, the Madurai kingdom, the kingdom of Shyamala Peta, the valuation in current day is 595 trillion USD. That is how great and that is how established the whole civilization was, the whole kingdom was. And actually, Madurai is the first place when the whole deluge happened. When the whole deluge happened, and there was the whole pralaya happened. When that time Manu took the various took various different species, like 30,000 different beings, and it was saved by the incarnation of Bhagavan Vishnu, the Matsya Avatar. All of you, few of you might have heard this story. It is where when the whole deluge happened, that time Bhagavan Vishnu appears to Manu and tells him to save to collect all the different beings. And on the day the pralaya happened, there was a boat, and Manu, with all of these 30,000 different species, with these different beings which he had collected, they all went, and Bhagavan Vishnu himself manifested as the incarnation, as the Matsya Avatar in the fish form, and he himself incarnated and sailed them through the whole pralaya, through the whole deluge. And all of you should know that they stopped on the banks of Madurai. That's why if you actually see the current, that's why if you see the flag, the Madurai, if you see the Pandya flag, it will be a fish, because Matsya Avatar was the whole kingdom itself was Matsya Avatar, Bhagavan Vishnu incarnated in the form of a fish and sailed them through and saved all of the beings. So and landed on the banks of Madurai, where the whole civilization started, where Manu was able to restart and rebuild the whole civilization after the deluge. That's why even now, if you see the flag of the Pandya kingdom, it is of that of a fish. So
also, just to add to what Nithyanandini was sharing with you all, see, this settlement, the Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Petam, this whole settlement is ancient, age old. And in the modern day, see, we have few important key factors about the civilization. One is it was the ancient civilization of Madurai, the Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Petam, where the political temporal rule, we call it as Porulachi in Tamil. I'm not sure how familiar that word is, but we call it as Porulachi, but in English we can say it can translate to the political temporal rule. That was not separate from the spiritual rule known as Arulachi. That is why the Rajagurus of these kingdoms had the power, and they had the political power, and they had the power to make the spiritual decisions both. They were Rajagurus. So Arulakshi and Purulakshi and Arasakshi could not be separate. Same way, the Pandya dynasty, this existed from the 3rd, 4th century BCE to the 14th century BCE as a Hindu sovereign state. The state of Madurai, the Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Petam, existed as a Hindu sovereign state up until the 14th century CE. And this Pandya dynasty was ruled by the Hindu sovereign papal state known as Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Petam. Like how right now of course, right now it's a little different because we have the political powers are different and the spiritual powers are different. But this civilization, the Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Petam civilization, had this unique, unique position where they had both Arulakshi and Purulakshi, which is both the being able to rule the kingdom through grace, which is through the spiritual grace, and through the political part, both. So that is why all of the Hindu kingdoms, one of the most stablest of economies we had, or one of the most stablest societal structure that we had, absolute equality and absolutely almost no, like very low crime rates. All of this is because the enlightenment centric civilizations were established. These civilizations were guided by Raja Gurus and by enlightened masters who did not have an agenda of something else other than the betterment, the conscious furthering of humanity. And this unbroken succession of the Shyamala Peta Sarvajñapeetham was revived by Tirujnana Sambandar, the great incarnation of Paramashiva, who healed Gun Pandian, the king. He heals the king, and that's a very beautiful leela in itself. But if I get time, I'll tell you all. But the main aspect, the healing itself is done by Tirujnana Sambandar. And from there on, he revives, he establishes the official Madurai Adinam. See, it was established earlier, like I said, directly from Iranar Paramashiva himself, Sundareshwara Paramashiva himself. It was established in the year 11,000 BCE. But in the due course of time, with a lot of invasions and whatnot, we lost that civilization. And though the kingdom continued to exist, the past was almost stripped off. So it is Tirujnana Sambandar who re-established back. He revived and he re-established back. Now, it was this re-established civilization that was being enabled, that this civilization was reorganized as present day Madurai Adinam, what we all know as the modern day Madurai Adinam, the modern day settlement. And throughout the history, the kings of the papal state of Shyamala Peta Sarvajñapeetham maintained a reverential guru-disciple relationship with the ruling pontiffs. That's why it started from Mangayar Karasi and Gun Pandian. Mangayar Karasi was a queen and Gun Pandian was the king. And they devoted themselves to Tirujnana Sambandar. The tradition started there, where the gurus had a say in who will be the next king. The gurus had the power in the absence of a king. Let's say if the king is going for a war, or suddenly if there's an untimely death of the king, at all those times, it was these ruling, the pontiffs, who would play the role of the regents, the emperors, and they would choose the heir apparent to the throne. So automatically the powers used to come to the Guru Mahasannidhanams, the pontiffs, and they had this responsibility of not just the spiritual responsibility, but even the political powers, the powers to govern, the powers to make the decision was with this kingdom, was directly with the Guru Mahasannidhanams as part of the Shyamala Peta Sarvajñapeetham. And through this line of succession, today the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the 293rd sovereign of that particular kingdom today. Swamiji is the sovereign of 21 such kingdoms. In particular, about the Shyamala Peta Sarvajñapeetham, Swamiji was coronated in the year 2012. So it was this civilization which was centered on enlightenment, completely almost lost the significance that it stood for, and it was revived and re-established back time and again by various different incarnations. And in the latest times, it was Swamiji who revived the civilization, re-established back the Shyamala Peta Sarvajñapeetham in all its glory. So when actually during the British Empire, even I'm not even talking about the ancient past or the medieval era, but even during the British Empire time, the British empires continued to hold the respect of the Pontiff of Madurai Adinam. Means though they were aiming to usurp the thrones of the kingdoms, because the Madurai Adinam, the rulers of the Madurai, which is the pontiffs of the Madurai Adinam, they had the powers with them. They had the political powers, which is why the British continued to uphold this decision. We call this as a Regency Act. Means a regent is a person appointed to govern a state. Because the monarch is a minor or absent or he's incapacitated at all those times. Let's say if a monarch is, the current monarch is dead, or either he's a minor, he's still not grown up, or he's absent or he's incapacitated, at those times the Regency Act is brought into place. So this regent, that means somebody else, like the Queen Mother, various different people play the role of being a regent monarch. So, in the civilization, in the Madurai kingdom, the British Empire respected the pontiffs of Madurai Adinam as the reigning monarch of the Pandya kingdom. Do you all remember I was telling you earlier about the Guru Mahasannidhanam, Sri Rao Bahadur Swamigal? It is Rao Bahadur Swamigal in 1904. The British invoked the Regency Act when in the 289th pontiff of the Madurai Adinam left his body in 1904. He left his body early itself, quite early, and his next heir, his next successor was only 11 years old. When the 289th pontiff left the body, the 290th pontiff was only 11 years old. So in 1904, when he was just 11 years old, the British invoked the Regency Act and they took the 11-year-old pontiff under their protection. Then in the year 1905, when the child turned 12, at that time in 1905, 12 years was majority of age. So when the child turned 12 and became a major as per the British rule, his coronation was performed by the district judge of the government and the kingdom of Madurai was handed back to the pontiff. So I'm sharing this because this is a very important, this is very important in the history for us to understand how the ruling powers was in the hands of the Adinams, the pontiffs. They had the right to make decisions. They had the right to revive. They had the right to re-establish these kingdoms back. So this is important that all of you understand this. I know for the PSS, I'm going into something unknown that you're all just entering into, but this is very important. So please provide your listening because you need to understand the significance of what we are entering into. Of course, what this whole celebration is something so special, but it is even more so special because the civilization, the Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Petam, is what Swamiji has revived and re-established now. And during this time, the Madurai Adinam, the kingdom of Madurai, this was the dynasty is Pandya dynasty, directly revived by Bhagavan Sundareshwara, and this spanned across 5.2 million kilometers square. This was a vast, huge state, 5.2 million kilometers square, and the last Hindu rule of this particular kingdom was in the year 1736. In the year 1736, this had its last Hindu rule, and it has various different temples. Madurai Meenakshi temple was the main temple, which was the seat of the heart of the civilization, but it has even Rameshwaram temple, various other temples as a part of this. That's why the valuation, like Ma Yoga Prana was sharing, the valuation of this civilization is almost $595 trillion because of it spanned across various different states, and also the impact, the soft power that it had across all the 56 nations around the world, which was the entire earth at that point in time. So also one important thing is the Shaiva High Council, the people who are appointed as the pontiffs of this kingdom. Like I shared earlier, Swamiji is the current pontiff of this kingdom. The appointment of Guru Mahasannidhanam is referred to as the Pandya Niyamana Murai, which has the exact coronation method, the Pandian coronation procedure. And all the successors are crowned with the Sengol, the ruling staff, and a crown given to them with the right to conduct all administration, all the administrative decisions, all the administration, and to make the decisions for it. That is why it is called in the coronation deed, in the Pandian Niyamana Murai, you will see a line called Sakala Nirvagangalayum Vagikkirathu, means the right to conduct all administration. This ancient civilization was so advanced. This is an example of modern day democracy system, which was established way back. It had monarchy and democracy both. This Madurai civilization, the Madurai settlement that we are having, was established by Devi Meenakshi. And this has continuous, unbroken lineage. Time and again, whenever there was a need, the Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Petam, the Guru Maha Sannidhanams, took on the position of the emperor and continued to govern as the pontiffs, giving the spiritual guidance both. That is why, like I said, the British government at that time in India recognized the Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Peetam as a state and the Guru Maha Sannidhanams as the head of states of that particular kingdoms. all the revival of this ancient Hindu civilization was was coronated to the SPH, and Swamiji took upon this colossal revival onto himself. See, this is a result of centuries of persecution, and we lost the civilization, the science of enlightenment, the what it stood for was completely lost. And the 292nd Guru Mahasannidhanam, so actually the 292nd Guru Mahasannidhanam, the pontiff, knew SPH very well for many years. And he had actually came and he had shared he had given a press meet where he shared how he got a divine mandate of how Devi, Meenakshi and Sundareshwara Paramashiva themselves appeared in his vision and gave him the darshan and declared that to crown the SPH as his next successor and to execute this divine order at once. He offered the SPH the silver sengol, the ruling staff of Meenakshi, to symbolize the coronation and to symbolize that the SPH was officially chosen as the next successor of the kingdom of Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Peta. Within a month, the legal and functional arrangements were made, and as a result, a change in the course of history was very masterfully orchestrated for the lineage that started with Paramashiva and Meenakshi was once again in the hands of Paramashiva and Meenakshi through the embodiment of their divine energies, which is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself. So the whole of Madurai civilization, yes, also in the meanwhile, all the Paramashiva Sena participants, all the PSS participants that are in the hall, I request you all to take a few minutes. You all can pick up your breakfast. You can come back and settle down here and we'll continue the session. The darshan will start soon. So you all can pick up your breakfast and come back and settle down. It's served and kept, so you all can pick up your breakfast and come back and settle down. Nithyanandam, apologizing for the technical glitch to all the viewers that are watching us on YouTube. If you're all able to hear me now, requesting you all to put a yes in the comments. Okay, that's great. So all the viewers that are watching us on YouTube, throughout the darshan, you all can post any prayer requests, blessings requests that you all have. You all can post it on YouTube, Facebook, all of these platforms. Yes. And all the prayers, you will be receiving the blessings for all the prayers that you post. And you can ask your any boons, any blessings requests that you have. So coming back to what I was sharing with you all about, the appointment of the junior pontiff is a right of a religious institution, and that right is given to the ruling pontiff, the current pontiff, who chooses and who gives the who declares who is his next successor. And for the 292nd pontiff, the vision that he had of Devi Meenakshi and Sundareshwara Paramashiva, based on that vision, he coronated the SPH as the ruler, the reigning monarch, emperor of the Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Petam. Here are just a few more pictures from the day of the coronation. Here you can see this is this is the 292nd Guru Mahasannidhanam, who coronated to the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam. All the viewers that are watching us on YouTube, this entire details is available to you in the history book. So please do take some time to download it, to study it, to understand it deeper. And this happened on the 29th of April 2012. And on the 5th of June 2012, the Jnana Sambandar Guru Puja was done with SPH, with Swamiji's presence there. And the annual celebration, this is the Jnana Sambandar Guru Puja's annual celebration of the great incarnation, the child saint, the enlightened reviver of the lineage of Kailasa Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Petam, which is Sri Trignyana Sambandar, and it was his happening that was celebrated through the Jnana Sambandar Guru Puja. The SPH and the 292nd Pontiff observed the festivities traditionally, and it was cherished by thousands of witnesses from around Madurai. All the devotees, many had gathered to to behold this grand celebration. You all can see this is all the different. This is how the coronation of the SPH was grandly celebrated. Actually, here you can see this is another important event that I'd like to share with you all. So here, this happened in the year of 2012, which is on the 7th and 8th of May 2012, where all the prominent Hindu pontiffs and leaders, all of them had come together from all over India to felicitate the SPH and to pledge their allegiances in front of the international media. Here you can see this is Sri Chakrapani Sri Chakrapani Avargal, who is the president of the Akhila Bharatiya Hindu Mahasabha. And we can see Atma Chaitanya Maharaja, who's from the Tiruchendur, and Sri Subramanya Swamigal of Tiruparangkundram, amongst the many others who expressed their sincere joy that Swamiji was elected and coronated as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam. And this person who is coronated, the moment the ruler, the emperor is coronated as the ruling emperor, they get all of the responsibilities, everything. they take up. Actually, Swamiji had taken up the moment Swamiji was coronated. Swamiji took up the revival, the grand, like completely preparing the whole Samrajya, reviving the whole civilization. And immediately Annadan was started. All the illegal encroachment that was happening on the temple properties were cleansed. All those, so many villages around the temple, so many of them got new opportunities of employment because so many services began. Free medical camps, free education services, and then free food, Annadan, free organic sattvic food. Millions of them were fed daily. And this was done in a large scale. And one of the most important aspect of this is where Swamiji took up the revival to clean all the temples around, not just the Madurai temple. See, as long as the temples were in the hands, it was a temple run government. The temples, which were the cradle of the enlightened civilization, was maintained with complete protection and care. But the moment that was removed, the moment it changed, it was illegally annexed, and it became a government-run temple. These temples literally went to ruins because there was no more maintenance happening to the temple. The rituals, the cleaning processes, none of these were happening. Which is why the moment Swamiji became the emperor, he immediately went on, and Swamiji started a revival of a cleaning drive in all the temples. So this whole revival Swamiji had begun, and in all the temples, it's not just the main Madurai temple. Like I shared, even Rameshwaram temple is part of the Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Peta. So many of these temples across the southern India specifically, they're part of the Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Petam. So the moment Swamiji was coronated, Swamiji himself personally went. He took on this colossal mission on himself to revive, to bring back the glory of what Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Petam once existed and functioned like.
And actually, talking about Swamiji's efforts, the way Swamiji has worked towards reviving this Shyamala Peta Sarvagnya Petam. If you see from like back in the years, even before Swamiji got coronated, if you go back and actually see, it is also there in the Kailasa history book, which all of you will be receiving. You can see how Swamiji has, whether it is going to the level of Swamiji himself cleaning the cobwebs in the Madurai temple, or Swamiji cleaning the whole temple, Swamiji, like working for the deities, getting the deities carved. The level which Swamiji has gone to revive this kingdom, to revive this kingdom and the whole civilization, the Shyamala Petam, is unimaginable. And the whether it is reviving the deities, reviving the traditions, the rituals, and the whole way, whether it is conducting the rituals, performing all of the rituals, the Brahmotsavams, all of the different celebrations that we're having. Swamiji has worked in various different levels to revive this kingdom and to really re-establish the glory and the grandness of the whole Madurai kingdom and the whole enlightenment ecosystem in Madurai. And actually, from even Swamiji's coronation happened, all of you saw the pictures, right? All of the Paramashiva Sena participants. So that happened on April 27th in 2012. The coronation happened, where the previous pontiff actually he beautifully describes that he had the vision of Devi Paramashiva Shakti, of Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva and Devi Paramashiva Shakti as Meenakshi. He had their vision, and they just, came inside of him and instructed him to coronate Swamiji and give the whole kingdom, hand over the whole responsibility to Swamiji and tell Swamiji to take it up.
And then, of course, and even actually the Arunagirinath, he is the previous pontiff, the 292nd. He actually says that even in the vision, he saw Paramashiva and Devi telling him that the next successor is there in Bangalore. Go and tell him to take up the whole responsibility. And immediately they started arranging, and the whole coronation was arranged just within 1 month. And the whole coronation was a grand ceremony. Everyone was celebrating. Actually, it was published in various different newspapers. It was broadcasted on various different TV channels. Everyone was celebrating the coronation of Swamiji because, of course, and actually, I think not only everyone here, like in Bhuloka was celebrating, even all the different time zones were celebrating because the reign of this Jade kingdom came back into the hands of Devi Paramashiva Shakti, Meenakshi and Bhagavan Sundareshwara manifesting through Swamiji.
Also, I just want to highlight one important fact. See, Swamiji, when Swamiji became the reigning monarch of this kingdom, it became a turning point in the history of the Madurai Samrajya, because not just because it's, in one main reason, of course, is Paramashiva and Paramashiva Shakti themselves came down in their incarnation and took up in the body of the SPH and took up the revival of the whole kingdom back. But in addition to that, the work that Swamiji did in a very short span of time was something phenomenal. Because in right from the cleaning drive in all the temples to making sure that all the people, the devotees who came, had the best experience in the temple. I'll just show you all like one example, right? Swamiji went to all the temples, not just the Madurai temple, to all the surrounding temples, and Swamiji himself would see the rituals that are happening, how the cleanliness that is maintained, whether the Annadan and the services that were happening. This is just the temple visit to the Kachanam. I'm just going to show you all this. You can see this is a visit to one of the Madurai Adinam temples. Actually, these clips are one of the many, very many clips that we have, which showcases the amount of work that Swamiji started in a very short span of time. Like visiting, checking all the rituals are happening on time, or checking if it is if the how the quality of the rituals being done, the priests being taken care from all aspects. Swamiji himself would go on ground and check. And now it is time for all of us to get ready to receive Paramashiva himself. I think we have spoken a lot, learnt a lot, but it is time to receive the blessings of Swamiji. Let us all get ready to enter into the darshan. For all those that are watching us on YouTube, the stream will end after this. Please refresh and you can join the latest live stream of the darshan. Right at the end of the stream, you will get a new link. So please make sure you join that so you all can witness the darshan of Meenakshi and Sundareshwara Paramashiva himself, who have manifested as Swamiji. Let us all get ready to witness the darshan. Please settle down. I request all the participants to please settle down. Sit straight with your head, neck and spine in a straight line. And let us all get ready to receive the darshan.